Hey guys, what is up? Zero here, and welcome back to, was it Doki Doki Within? DDLC Within? It's one of those. I think it's Doki Doki Within. Yeah, the title says that. Alright, yeah, so welcome back to Doki Doki Within demo. In the last episode, we basically had a lot of vanilla mixed with, like, little pieces of new dialogue here and there. It was not the greatest, you know, it was a little bit of a rocky start overall. It had some original scenes which I feel like were okay, but then there were some other parts that were a little weird, like the way MC delivers information is kind of odd. Welcome, you joined right, you came back right when we were starting. I was just doing the recap. I forgot what else to say. Yeah, he played Quake with his friend Ryuji, who has not been introduced to us, and we apparently learned about some girl that the MC used to be with. A lot of weird stuff happening so far. The club is also way too comfortable with MC for his second day of being there. So yeah. Let us proceed. So it doesn't matter that I missed the first stream of this? Not too much. You'll probably be able to still figure out what's going on. Basically, just all the normal DDLC stuff happened. We joined the club. It isn't my alarm that wakes me up this morning, but instead my ringtone. Groggily, I pick my phone up. It's Sayori? She's not usually up this early. I yawn as I answer the call. What's up?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be in school.
With the way she sounds, it's clear she's unwell. Let me guess, food poisoning?
And undercooked.
She's cut off by her own coughs. After some silence, I speak up. You should get some rest, Sayori.
I know.
Sayori yawns.
Also, promise me you'll never eat at Pearl City. I don't want you getting ill, too.
Noted. I chuckled how serious she sounded. No, I'll be subconsciously avoiding there. What did she eat? I actually totally forgot to read. Oh, it's undercooked chicken? Okay. Never really hear any positive things about that place anyway. Oh, okay. I'm still inside my house, but sure. Ah! Oh, Jesus. Volume jump scare. Once I force myself out of bed, I make my way to the bathroom to get a quick wash. I let the water run for a bit before stepping in. Oh, I forgot. Fucking dots, I have to click them. God, warm water feels nice in the morning. After a quick breakfast, I make my way outside. Since I'm not with Sayori today, I decided to get my earphones to keep myself occupied. I just shuffle my playlist and start the lonely walk there. You can kind of see why Sayori always likes walking together. Doing it alone sucks. It's not that bad. What? Walking alone is fine. You have your music. Maybe you need to reflect on your life a little bit, I'm saying. Need some life reflection, alright? Now is the time. Stop playing fucking Doom at like fucking 4 a.m. What's wrong with you? Or Quake, whatever the fuck you played. Doom? That's what he played with the fucking Ryuji guy last night.
Oh yeah, I was not.
Yeah, you weren't here for that, yeah. Oh, well, at least I've got my music. If you always go with someone, it sucks. I guess. How long is the walk to school? What did I say? It was like an hour? Not an hour. Or like close to an hour? It was an hour. I don't know why they're walking to school. I was like, I hope it's not an hour. It's like a few minutes. So it's not that bad. Come on, MCs. Let me a baby. At long last, the bell rings for lunch, and I'm the first one out. However, I divert from my usual route and head to the roof. To finally end it all. I told myself I'd write my poem up there, and I intend to keep my word. Once making sure I'm alone, I dash upstairs onto the rooftop. As I'm heading up, I receive a text from Sayori basically saying she told the rest of the club about her absence. I'm at least thankful they won't have to ask me where she is. What? Because that would be a hard question to answer? What?
Or are you acting like Sayori is like a nuisance to your life?
Oh man, I'm so glad they don't have to ask me something. Also, MC, I wish somebody was here to talk to me.
Yeah, no wonder. Fuck you, dude.
I wish somebody was here to talk to me. Also, MC, man, I'm so glad that I don't have to answer a question.
So glad that my friend is dying so that I don't have to fucking
Oh,
watch.
not that. He's like, I'm so glad she told them, so I don't have to answer
Oh, yeah.
a question. Oh no! God forbid!
So glad that she did my job for me.
Still, maybe if she was here, she'd help me understand my feelings a bit better. Both about this poem, as well as Monika. I wince as the sun temporarily blinds me, but I recover quickly. I make my way to a nearby bench. It's kind of funny, though. There's benches up here, and barely anyone ever comes up here aside from janitors. The silence is serene. I plug my earphones in and let the music from this morning continue as I start to write. The song that starts playing softly in my eardrums gives me the inspiration I need as I gaze past the wire fence. Horizon. I mumble out loud to myself. Shorter poem will do. Don't need too many words. Horizon Zero Dawn. Both the music and my heart guide my pen as I try to paint a picture of a feather drifting across the midsummer sky. Of a song playing across the airwaves.
Oh, is he like an artist?
I thought he only made music.
Oh.
They haven't said he didn't make anything else. An almost empty plane flying over the coming horizon of the night. A words only ever spoken on an empty, solitary rooftop. Oh, no. Jesus. What the fuck was that? Bro, fucking give me use a fade in next time. God. Monika. I faintly speak. My heart started to race. Put my poem in my bag as I finished it now. Put my earphones out and place my hand on my chest. I breathe in. I breathe out. After a few repeats of this, I hear the door open. I look back only to retreat my eyes just as quickly. Of course Monika shows up. I hope she didn't.
Zero?
My brain really needs to stop doing that. I turn to face her.
Oh, hey, Monika.
She gives me one of her signature smiles.
Didn't think I'd see you up here.
She starts walking over to me. I return the smile. I'd say the same to you. What are you doing here anyway?
Oh, I just needed some air.
Monika seems to get a little bit nervous, as if there's more than she's letting on. I know it can get stuffy in there.
How about you?
She takes a seat next to me on the bench. Please don't show her this. Please don't show her this is kind of awkward for you. I'd say I needed the air and somewhere to think.
Oh? To think about what?
Monika seems curious. If I could be honest with Sayori about my hidden feelings for Monika, then I can surely be honest about as to why I'm up here. I came up here because I needed somewhere quiet to write my poem. I was so exhausted last night. It's only after I say it out loud that I realize that I'm admitting to the club president that I rushed my assignment. Rather than scolding me like my brain told me she would, she smiles.
You say that like I'd be mad at you. I couldn't do that.
What? My eyes dart back and forth between Monika and the concrete floor.
Zero.
Monika gets a little bit closer, but not too close for comfort.
I know that it's really stressful this time of year. Like with finals, so many assignments, just all of it. If you couldn't finish it, I'd perfectly understand.
I go aside as I take in what Monika said. I'd forgotten how understanding she was sometimes. Then zip my bag and, after a bit of doubt, I pull out my poem and hand it to Monika. You can read it. If you'd like.
Are you sure you don't want to wait until club?
I shake my head. We can discuss it then, I stop myself short. Why is it so hard to ask Monika to read it outside of club? I just want you to read it.
Cool! Looking cool, Joker!
He's not looking cool. Monika timidly takes the poem and starts to read it. I rather than watch for any visible reaction, I simply gaze out to the cityscape. Before long, the silent spell is broken by the loud, obnoxious ringing of the bell. Look back at Monika and our eyes meet up for a moment. She goes to hand me back my poem, but gently I push her hands back a bit. No, just keep it until we share a club. She doesn't say anything to hint to any uncertainty, and her eyes show a glimpse of understanding before we head back down to the depths of the school. Alright, that scene was, like, fine and stuff, but, like, I don't know. I feel like his relationship with Monika is, again, kind of like what I said with a lot of stuff in this mod. It's, like, going very fast. Just, like, this shit has just been, like, zooming, dude. Like, this is your third day at the club.
Oh, man.
This is Zoom, bro. This is Zoom with Tim Allen. Where is he? I gotta get him in here. Like, this MC is going faster than MC in the base game went for the girls.
That's saying something.
I was saying, like, I'm pretty sure he only started saying stuff like, well, 4th day at least. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's going faster than even him. Like, it feels so fast. Like he's going, dude. He's going. They're gonna be fucking by tomorrow and married at the end of the week. So I was like, it's going. He's speed running. Like I said, that scene was pretty nice though. Like, it was well written and like decently well. Although I do feel like it's a little too descriptive at times. Where, like, it'll be like, Monika's confused, or Monika seems this. Like, you can have those lines, but I feel like they happen too much. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's mostly probably a nitpick, but that's just, I felt like that was happening a little too much, but I don't know. That could definitely be a nitpick. But my main issue is that everything feels like it's going a bit too fast. Especially considering I feel like the point of this mod is just a love mod. So the major plot here, it seems like, is going to be Monika and MC's relationship. So it feels a little weird to rush that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, when the main, thing of this mod is just going to be their relationship. The main conflict is going to be their relationship. So rushing it, I feel like, is not the way to go. Like, if there was some other big plot going on, then I wouldn't really mind if it was going a little fast. Because they're like, this isn't really the focus. So it's like, fine, whatever, okay, sure. But it's like, this is going to be the focus. So because of that, it's like, rushing it just feels like I'm not going to be as invested into their relationship because of this. It just kind of happened. Thank you for the sub, Ender Yoshi. And thank you for the 500 bits, Rage Bob. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe things will start to go a little slow. But like, he's already like writing poems about her. Like this quickly. Like I said, I think base game MC only started writing poems for them like, what? 4th day? When he wrote like well, that's Natsuki though. Natsuki wrote him a poem. But even then, it's like, yeah, the girls wrote him a poem, I think like 4th day? And even if it was the 3rd day, do you really want to use base game MC as your fucking as your point of interest? Or like as your fucking comparison? Like, I don't know if that's what you want to use. So I don't know. Thankfully for me, and very likely the majority of the classes, Mr. Honda was off sick today. If I had foresight to know that would be the case, I could have at least tidied the essay up a bit. Oh well, I can't rewrite the past, now can I? Make my way up to a nearby vending machine. I'm a little thirsty, and since we got let out a little earlier than normal, I still got a little time before club starts. I put my coins in, and a small can comes out soon after. As I'm reaching down for my drink, though, I can hear the echoed sounds of someone yelling. Whoever it is, they don't sound pissed off. Well, they kinda do. It sounds more defensive than anything. What was the point of that? Okay. Then why tell me that? They don't sound pissed off. Well, actually, they kinda do. What? If this is in your mind, so like, why are you like, who are you talking to? Like, this would make sense if he was talking to somebody. In his mind, it feels weird.
In their mind.
But then that line just seems unnecessary. You could just say, well, they sound kind of pissed off, but it sounds more defensive than anything. Like, why did he have to say it like this? Like, MC, shut up. Like, I don't know. At the same time, I can't shake this weird feeling that the voice sounds familiar. Well, it's Natsuki. I look to my left, and the reason for that familiar feeling comes walking quickly down the hall. Natsuki? Oh no! Natsuki's eyes meet mine for a brief moment. Uh-oh. All of a sudden, she averts her eyes and clenches them shut as she runs past me and audibly bolts upstairs. Natsuki, wait! I rush up after her. I cannot wonder what happened to Natsuki that could have made her this upset. I call out to her. Natsuki! Natsuki, where are you? After a minute or so...
Why would you bother her?
I guess she's sad.
I guess, but like, clearly she wants to be by herself. So like, chasing her down, like, wait, like you don't even know what happened.
I mean, yeah, that's why it's his friend, maybe. Only 3 days. I see her emerge from the restroom and quicken my pace. Natsuki, give me some fucking space!
Exactly. That's what I would say.
Natsuki's voice comes out as more of a squeak as tears form on her face. There's an awkward, weirdly heavy silence between us. Her brash reaction did catch me by surprise, although, in her defense, I wasn't going about this well in the slightest.
Sorry.
Natsuki, what for?
I'm having a bad day. And I'm taking that out on you. I don't mean to.
More silence. Natsuki gives out a long sigh.
I'm the worst.
That's a little much, isn't it?
Not when it's true.
But it's not. Natsuki doesn't have any arguments left. Her glistening pink eyes tell multiple stories. The two ones I can make out, the clearest, are ones of guilt and of someone who just wants to be valued. The second one being a side I never would have expected, if that is the case, that is. We all have bad days. Some of us more than others. Those bad days don't define you. I sigh as I think of something else to say. Besides, I know you didn't mean it. Why else would you be apologizing? Natsuki looks away for a moment, processing what I've said. If you need a moment, that's fine. I've been there before. Natsuki breathes slow and calmly before locking her eyes back onto my own.
I think I needed to hear that. So, thank you.
Natsuki gives me a small but meaningful smile. It's no problem, really. The pair of us then walk the remainder of the way to the club room. Okay, I'm gonna call bullshit on the fact that MC was just able to read Natsuki's problems through her eyes.
Oh.
Like, what the fuck was this? Her pink eyes tell multiple stories. The two ones I can make out, the clearest, are ones of guilt and of someone who just wants to be valued. How the fuck? How the fuck can you see that?
Can you elaborate?
He's actually speed running this shit. I was like, what? How do you? It's like, he's actually speed running. What is this? How did he do that?
How do you do that?
Like, this man is fucking, like, how did he actually do that? Like, what? That's literally, he's a goddamn empath. So I'm like, yeah, like, what? Like, there's no, like, I'd understand if maybe you could make an argument, again, if it's someone he knew for a while. Like, if it was Sayori, maybe, you know? Then maybe you could make an argument for being like, oh, like, I've seen that face before or something. Maybe something like that. Like, maybe I won't think about it. It'd be a little weird still, but I wouldn't think about it too much. But it's like, this is someone he, one, doesn't know that well, and two, how could you get that much from someone's eyes? Like, what? Huh? That's just someone's eyes. Blah, 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 your dad beats you next. How did you know? I could see it in your eyes. I can feel it in your smile. Also, goddamn, you guys gave a lot of stuff again. Thank you for the 500 bits at Sonic. I'm taking this time unrelated, but thanks so much, Zero, for putting Sonic the Black Knight in C tier. It has a good standing play. No problem with Sonic. I actually been meaning to do like a full-on Sonic tier list in the future, though. So thank you for the 12-month resub, champ. I appreciate it. Thanks, Zero Monica, and how much your content means to me. So much vigilance is the reason why I got into modding, and it's why Monica started the reason I actually used Patreon for the first time again. Thanks, Zero. No problem, man. Thank you for supporting the Patreon. And thank you for the 12-month sub too. Appreciate it. But yeah, I don't know. Man's going way too fast.
He is.
Got something out of my teeth. Hold up. Alright. I did not know something was in my teeth. But yeah, man is going way too fast. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, the scene was fine. I don't mind him chasing Natsuki. I think that works. Because, yeah, they even point out that it wasn't, like, a smart thing to do. I think that's fine. Whatever. Natsuki swearing in this case is also fine. Because, she was kind of, like, rah, she was a little angry. Sure. As long as she doesn't do it casually, you're good, I think. At least in my opinion. So yeah, and then, his advice was fine, I guess, it was just, we all have bad days and stuff, but, yeah, I don't know, him, like, knowing exactly what her problem was a little weird.
Yeah.
That was a little odd. I mean, hey, as long as Natsuki didn't fucking just, like, tell him all her issues on, like, the 3rd day of knowing him, then I guess we're good. Upon entering the club room, Natsuki makes her way over to the closet. Oh, makes her way over to closet, sorry. I think I meant the closet. I decided to go up to Monika.
Hey, Zero.
Hey, Monika. Sorry we're late. I look behind me and see Natsuki's already reading her manga. Should I tell her what happened? I look back to Monika and lower my voice. I bumped into Natsuki on my way up, and I guess we lost track of time. Feel bad about lying to her, but I wouldn't feel right if I told her exactly why we took as long as we did. Why would you speak in a low voice but then not tell her the truth? Who are we hiding this from?
Yeah. Monica, I guess.
But why would we speak in a low voice if we're not going to tell her the truth?
I don't know.
Also, it's weird that we're like, I can't tell Monika, the person who's known Natsuki longer than I have, that Natsuki's upset? You don't even know why. I feel like telling Monika that Natsuki's upset, I think could be very helpful. Because, I think it could be nice. It's not like you're telling her the problem that she's having. Like, I don't know, this feels unnecessary to keep this a secret. I'm certain that Natsuki would tell her at some point.
Oh, Zero, you don't need to apologize. Besides, neither of you missed much.
I have a peek at the clock on the other side of the room. It's only been shy of 5 minutes since the start of the meeting, so she does have a point.
Also, I've read the poem you gave me at lunch. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed.
Thanks. I blush again. Say, how many times have you read it?
Maybe once or twice. Maybe more than that.
How she manages to be so cute without even trying astounds me to this day. She then takes my poem out of her bag and passes it to me. Before I can put it in my pocket, though, Monika delicately holds the lower edge of the paper, and I swear I feel her thumbs brush against mine for a split second.
I look forward to discussing it with you.
So let's go with the paper, and I slide it back into my pocket. Why is the music gone? Hello?
There's no music.
We end up just standing in front of each other for a little while longer. We don't say anything, but just make the odd glance and smile at each other. Well, it feels like something out of a tacky romance game. I can't help but admit that it feels nice. Feels awkward to me. I don't know. I don't think we're getting the same air here. I don't know.
You're not receiving the same energy.
I was like, I don't know. This feels awkward. The music. I feel like you could have kept the music for this. Like, I don't know. This just feels weird. Like, maybe you could have made like the music like a little lower. Maybe. Like, I don't know. Like, it just feels odd. So, I'm just gonna chat with Natsuki now. You see? It's awkward! What?
Yeah.
This is awkward. Even MC's dialogue is proving that it's awkward.
Okay.
She speaks with a blush and a nervous giggle. See? She's nervous! It's awkward! Like, what?
It is awkward.
I don't think this is romantic at all. It's just awkward.
Guys, don't think this is working.
To be completely honest to myself, my face is just as red as hers, if not more so. I end up taking a seat close to Natsuki, trying as hard as I can to hide my face. I don't know, that was just awkward. No romance at all. Yeah, so I was like, that was just weird. Like I said, that could have worked if they like you know, maybe you could have the music a little lower, maybe, you know, if you didn't want to, because obviously I think a abrupt music change would make it awkward regardless. So, you know, I think like maybe just like making the music lower, or you could just keep the music. The music didn't have to go away. It's like, I feel like the music going away was unnecessary. You could have kept it. I don't think it had to be. I don't think it had to leave. Part of me knows that if Natsuki saw me like this, I'd never hear the end of it. Even have a sneaking suspicion that Yuri would ask questions. And then, as if life was out to prove me wrong, I hear a voice whisper to me. You're doing a piss poor job at hiding that, you know. And now she's swearing casually. Just when I was like, yeah, as long as they're not swearing casually, I think it's fine. And now Natsuki swearing casually. Okay.
Okay.
Why? You know, I'm just like the MC, you know, where it's like, why does my brain do this? You know, I'm guessing it too, apparently. Why? They don't do this. Like, I understand that Natsuki's like, you know, the rough type of personality, but that doesn't mean that she swears like, yeah, like normally. If anything, that's what made Act 2 so weird, was that they started swearing.
Yeah, that's why it was like, the fuck?
Yeah, instead of freaking Monika, she's like, fucking Monika. It's like, whoa! Calm down there.
Calm down there.
It just feels weird. Like I said, it's like not like it's a huge deal, but it's just it makes things odd when it's like they're not meant to really swear. So it just feels like I said, it's fine in situations where I feel like it's warranted, but it's just every time it's like it swears just when they just make them swear, it just feels like unnecessarily edgy. I don't know. I open my eyes and I'm greeted by Natsuki wearing a wide grin. What? What are you on about, Natsuki? You know damn well what. I was able to keep her voice this low while keeping the same sort of punch as normal is astounding. Natsuki cops the seat next to mine. I thought we were going to go read with her. What? Where did we go then? Oh, and taking a seat close to Natsuki. Oh, okay. So we just sat near her to talk with her, I guess. That's weird. There are tomatoes that wish they are as red as you are right now. Like, I saw you two over there holding hands. I was kind of tempted to tell you to get a room. No? Try to keep my voice as low as hers as I look around the club room. Yuri's eyes have not left the pages of her book, and, luckily for me, Monika seems to be wearing earphones. Well, it sure looked like it. We were just talking. Can't let her know about mine and Monika's little meeting on the roof. They weren't even holding hands. They were holding they were like holding the poem. Wait, what? Were they holding hands? Did I forget? Hold up.
I don't remember that.
Before I can put it in my pocket, Monika delicately holds the lower edge of the paper, and I swear I feel her thumbs brush against mine for a split second.
That is not holding hands.
Hey, what the fuck is Natsuki on about? So they weren't even holding hands. So I was like, what the fuck's Natsuki on about? She's just imagining stuff now. She's just lying. Premarital hand holding. Yeah, now's Natsuki gonna accuse me of doing such a dirty task in the literature club. I would never do such a thing. Can't let her know about mine and Monika's little meeting on the roof. She's already got the wrong idea now. God only knows what she'd think we were doing up there. You're saying that like I'd be jealous if you were. I meant it was kind of cute. Well, at least she... Wait, what did she just say? Did you just... I did, yeah. You don't need to go announcing it to the world. Sorry. There's a minute or two of awkward silence. Is it because of what Natsuki said? Not entirely sure. Hopes to brighten the mood, I glance over to the cover of the volume of the manga in front of Natsuki. Hold up. Did she ever... Wait. Did this mod mess up again? They spliced out parts of vanilla. Did we ever get the scene where Natsuki yells about saying, I'm not cute? Does that even make sense in this context?
I don't know.
Because I could have swore I don't remember reading that part. Unless I'm forgetting. I don't think that happened. I could be wrong. I don't think that happened. She never said I'm not cute. Hold up. Hold up, I have it pulled up. I have it pulled up because I had my fucking... She's like, your poems, everything about you's cute. Yeah, that's when it's supposed to happen. Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, there wasn't a scene. They don't have that, so it doesn't even make sense in this context. Like, it's just, yeah, we didn't even have that conversation happen in the mod. This is what happens when you have, like, a little bit of vanilla, and then you splice some stuff, but then you pretend like it's there, but then when it's really not.
Yeah.
This is why the best thing to do is just not have vanilla at all! In hopes to brighten the mood, he goes over to the cover of the volume of manga in front of Natsuki. Parfait girls? If you want to judge, do it through the glass on that door. She points over to the door. Hi, door. You say that like you'd throw me through it. And, yep, there it is. See? Like, again, this is, like I said, I don't want to be that guy where I'm all like, oh, no swearing. I don't have a problem with swearing. It's just, Natsuki saying wanna fuck around and find out just sounds like a meme. I was like, this looks like a shit post. If I showed this line to somebody, they would think this is a shit post. Thank you for the sub, Dark Mercy. The hell did I come into today? I was saying, like, it doesn't feel right. Like, it feels like a shit post. Like, that's why I'm like, this is why you shouldn't really make them swear, because it just sounds wrong. Because like and if you wanna even relate to the old meme saying, you could say wanna mess around and find out, or just don't relate to meme sayings in general. But you know, I guess I have to read it. It's part of the mod. Wanna fuck around and find out? I'll pass. I sure laugh at my avoided expense. Yeah. God damn it. Now they're just casually saying everything.
Okay, everyone. It's time to share poems.
Monika eventually announces the room, giving us our cue. After fetching my poem from my pocket, I quickly make my way towards Monika. I'd already promised her that we'd discuss my poem when we had the chance. Now she's even looking forward to it.
Hey, Zero.
I smile and wave. Hey, you want to discuss my poem?
Of course.
I pass a sheet to her and she reads through one final time. Eventually, she gently lays the paper on top of the desk.
Seriously, your use of imagery here is even better than yesterday's. Are you sure you haven't written poetry before?
Surely it's not that good of a poem. I'm sure, don't worry. Besides, I look like the kind of guy that writes poetry in his spare time. That last part seems to cause Monika to giggle a bit. I do find it funny that, like, we're just supposed to take, like, obviously, this isn't a slight on the mod, by the way. I just find it funny. But, that it's like, man, MC's poems are so good. Oh, are they gonna show them to us? No. Just pretend they're good. All you have to know is that the poem that he's showing Monika is really good. Like, I don't know, it's just funny to me. It's just like, you just have to know they're really good. Like I said, though, I'm like, it's a smart way to go about it so that you're like, so that you don't have to, like, risk making a poem that isn't that good. So people will be like, what the fuck, this poem sucks. So it's like, fuck it. I'm not showing you the poem. To use your imagination. It's like, it's a smart way to go about it, honestly. That last part seems to cause Monika to giggle a bit.
Now that you mention it, do you?
Nah. Besides, even if I did, it wouldn't be as good as yours.
Oh, stop. You flatter me too much, you know.
My cheeks start to burn. Am I really that bad at hiding it? I mean, it isn't necessarily flattery if it's true to some degree. It's nothing. Silence then falls over the pair of us. I don't think we've discussed the poem as much as we expected. Monika does try to say something about it, break the Monika does try to say something about it to break the silence, but she stops herself each time. It's almost like she's trying to either find the right way to say it, or she's trying to express her thoughts altogether. Could I read your poem now?
Please do.
Monika hands me her notebook, and I start to read. Today's poem is nowhere near as abstract as yesterday's, the subject emboldened clearly in the poem's title. The lady who knows everything. Okay, so is she aware or not in this mod?
Oh.
The more I read into it, though, the more the themes of seeking the impossible start to stick out, much like yesterday's work. Whereas her first poem was from the perspective of someone being held to those heightened standards, this one seems to be focused on finding that apparent legend, only for said person's expectations to be all for nothing.
I know it's basically the same as yesterday's. I just wanted to explore from another angle.
Monika's voice breaks my concentration. I hand her back her notebook. Regardless if it's the same topic, it still came out nice. There's nothing inherently wrong with exploring familiar ground. I say that the hardest part would be writing from the mindset of somebody else, but you did that nicely as well. Alright, well that's decently smart to be able to use the lady who knows everything and try to like spin it in a way that like makes it to where it's like, oh, she's writing it because it's supposed to mean this now, instead of, you know, meaning what it meant in the base game. So that's kind of smart to pull out, to do. But it also kind of is, like, weird. It's a smart way to do it in the sense of being, like, to try to canonize, like, you know, make the lady who knows everything, like, a canon way of working without making Monika aware. But it is still just weird, and you could just give her a different poem anyway. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you're better off just giving her a different poem instead of giving her the exact same one. If you just want it to be if you just want it to be a poem that gives that exact same thought, you know? Because it's not like we were able to read her first poem anyway. You're like, I feel like you're better off just not even referencing the lady who knows everything and just making it a different poem entirely. Making a different poem entirely. I say that. No, alright, sorry, that.
Thanks.
Her voice trails off, lacking the confidence she'd usually display. She doesn't seem bothered by my words, though. She seems to be thinking about it. She sighs gently.
I'd say that doing this has helped me explore myself a bit more.
It does?
For me, yeah. Put it this way. Imagine your mind as a long hallway with doors scattered around the place. Those doors represent your thoughts. There's many rooms to explore, but the doors look the same. But once you have a peek inside, the rooms are limitless and you'll get lost in your thoughts. Poetry for me helps to narrow in on those rooms and explore them a bit.
Fucking hell, that got deep. Damn, that was quite poetic. You never cease to amaze me. It wasn't that deep. Calm down. Damn, that was really deep. Like you could just say, oh yeah, huh, that's an interesting way to look at that, Monika. Not like, holy hell, Monika. Like that wasn't that deep. Like, yeah, it's an interesting way of looking at something, but it wasn't like, it's like a little deep. It ain't like, this man's like, fucking hell. That's deep as fuck.
Fucking hell, I'm gonna coom.
Like zoink, Scoob. That was so deep. You never cease to amaze me. Did I seriously just say that? Yep, good going, dickhead. And yeah, okay, even the MC swears too much, I'm gonna be honest. Even he's swearing too much for my liking. My words aren't lost on Monika, she goes a deep shade of crimson.
Same goes for you.
Now it's my turn to blush. Again. Remain silent for another moment or two. How many of these moments of silence are they gonna have? The air is tense in a way that I can't fully describe. Just, what is this feeling? Look down at the table and notice her hands are a bit closer than before. My eyes dart back up to meet Monika's own. The blush on her cheek grows, but neither her smile nor the spark in those emerald green orbs falter. That is until...
Monika? Could I share my poem with you now, or are you just gonna keep staring at Zero? It's kinda weird, you guys keep doing this, are you okay?
Yuri's soft eyes land on mine and Monika's hands, curiosity taking over her voice.
Busy?
Monika looks at Yuri and then follows her gaze down to the table. She quickly retracts her hand and looks away, her face completely red. Lost for words, I pick up my poem and make my way over to Natsuki. I feel awful. What? Why? Huh? Why did I say that? I doubt this would be something either of us want to bring up. Bring up what? Huh? I close my eyes inside of myself. Okay. What is happening? Were they holding hands? I totally forgot. Yeah, the air is tense in a way I can't describe it. I look down at the table and notice our hands are a bit closer than before. Oh, okay. So then, okay, so they were holding hands. Okay, I guess they started holding hands randomly. That's a little weird. What is happening? Why would you... Why would they just be in silence and then start holding hands? What is this? Again, this is like a little too much. I don't know. Like, what the hell? Just randomly start holding hands? You guys haven't even, like, fucking did anything with each other yet. You guys... It wasn't even, like, a normal hand-holding situation. Like, if they were, like, walking side by side, and then they started holding hands, like, just naturally, I'd be like, oh, okay. But it's like, they're, like, staring into each other's eyes, and they start holding hands, and I'm like, bro! Again, their relationship is, like... Shit's going so fast! Like, it's going so fast, but then the mod still wants to be like, oh, I don't know if Monika wants to talk about us. You know, like, it's weird. You can't have it both ways. Also, are they really referencing this meme? What the fuck is Natsuki's tag? That's what I'm like, why? Premarital handholding? And in public, no less? For shame, Zero. For shame. Son of Natsuki berating me causes my eyes to shoot open. I always figured you were probably a perv, but not Monika. Damn that little smartass. No, Natsuki, it's not like that. Don't worry. Your indecency is safe with me, lover boy. And my face against the table. She's not helping at all. See, now I'm confused. Is the mod even... Now I'm confused. Is the mod handling it... Now they've confused me. Is the mod actually handling it as if that is an actual, like, problem? Or is Natsuki joking with him? Like, I don't get it. Like, now I'm confused. I'm like, is it a meme in universe or is it not a meme in universe? Like, I don't know. Like, is she joking? Because he's, like, actually freaking out. Because he's actually like, no! Like, he's actually freaking out about it. I don't know, man. Just not helping at all. Natsuki's an r/and a memes user. That's what this mod feels like. I know she's joking, but still. Okay, so she's joking. Okay. His reaction to that made me confused. Even though it's still a problem. Please stop referencing memes. There's a man with a cocky smile and a lowered voice. It best be. I'll also tell Monika about your little hentai collection. I have not got... I have not got... Oh my god. How do you say... I don't have a hentai collection. I don't have a hentai collection! Don't worry. Your indecency is safe with me. Natsuki looks about ready to choke slam me. It'd be funny if she wasn't fully capable of doing so. She relents for a sigh. Let's just get this over with. You cheeky fuck. Why do they make her swear so much? Like I said, this mod just, I don't know, man. I do not know what's happening anymore. She's like, they're making her swear way too much. Like, it's just, half of the jokes just seem to be like their references and meme humor. And I'm like, it just, I don't know. It's just weird. They saw Act 2 Natsuki and ran with it. That's what it seems like. Like, shit's making Shadow the Hedgehog look like it's normal. Is Natsuki a self-insert? Maybe. I don't know. Despite Natsuki's jokes, sharing with her went pretty well. Sharing with Yuri went okay. It seemed a bit awkward and fidgety, more so than usual. And again, she's still probably had me and Monika on her mind. Probably just a bit of curiosity. Eventually, Monika calls us up to the front. Myself, Natsuki, and Yuri make our way there. Natsuki is the first to speak up. Is this about the festival?
It is, yeah.
Do we have to do anything for the festival?
I'm still curious as to what we're going to be doing. Oh, about that.
Monika then turns her attention to me.
Zero, there's one of the posters that Sayori helped me with the other day on the front desk. Do you mind showing it to Natsuki and Yuri?
I nod and quickly retrieve the poster, which proudly advertises a poetry performance. It is worth mentioning people do make meme jokes IRL. They do, but just because people do things IRL doesn't mean we have to adapt it into writing, though. People are right now making Morbius jokes. Does that mean we need to start making, like, Sayori going around saying, "It's Morbin time"? like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't think we need to go around doing that. like, it just doesn't hold up well. I nod and quickly retrieve the poster, which proudly advertises a poetry performance. Sounds like a barely normal activity for a club such as this. I'm just curious how Natsuki and Yuri will react to this. I show the rest of the group the poster, and their expressions and tones change drastically. The one constant between the two of them is that they seem appalled at the idea displayed on the poster. Performing? No way, I'm not doing that!
Do you think it's that bad of an idea?
Yuri doesn't seem to have any response, and at least for a minute or two, neither does Natsuki. Eventually, she lets out a frustrated sigh. She gives Monika a stern, fiery look.
Do you seriously think that any of us even want any new members?
Like, I can't speak for Yuri or Zero, but this club brought me something. Something I won't let you take from me. If I wanted anything else, I would have just joined any other stupid club. Natsuki doesn't say anything else as she holds her eyes shut. To say I'm shocked at what Natsuki said would be putting it lightly. As I look over at Monika and Yuri, I can conclude that feeling is mutual. The four of us enter an uncomforting silence. The air conditioner seems a little bit louder today. You want to break the silence? Well, I personally think that...
No, Zero. Natsuki's right.
Her voice slightly breaks as she says that, looking at me with an incredibly crushed look in her eyes. Stark contrast to the confidence Monika always wore in spite of anything. This time feels different, though. It's almost as if Natsuki's words hit a little closer to home. Monika gives a shaky sigh before her eyes focus back on the mine.
Why did I think this was a good idea?
After saying that, Monika walks and slumps down at the front desk and puts her hands against her head as she starts to stare blankly at the table. Though she's silent, she's trembling ever so slightly. The rest of us fall victim to the silence from earlier.
Now you've done it, Natsuki.
Yuri directs the disappointment in both her eyes and tone right at Natsuki.
Me? All I did was speak my mind. Is that a problem? It's not about being honest. It's about word choice.
Natsuki goes to fight back, but relents after a quick glance over at Monika. I know the look on her face. It's one I grew quite familiar with. She's blaming herself. Before I can say anything, Natsuki's already gotten her bag and has stormed out of the classroom. Remembering our earlier conversation, I decide to follow after her. Natsuki, wait!
Why, Zero? You saw the look on Monika's face. I caused that.
Natsuki once again gives me the same look of guilt. I try to open my mouth, but nothing comes out. More silence follows.
I'm gonna go home. I just don't feel like I belong here right now.
With that, Natsuki turns on her heel and starts going to leave. As much as I want her to come back, I'm not going to force her to do so. After running my hands through my hair, I head back into the club room. Once I'm back in, I notice that Monika still hasn't moved from the front desk. Yuri, however, is pacing around the room, almost like she's pondering her next decision. As I shut the door behind me, Yuri's gaze locks onto me as I walk toward the center of the room. In this way, Yuri stands on my left while Monika stays on my right.
This is bad.
The way Yuri said that is proof that she's concerned. As I look back at Monika, I swear I can hear the faint sound of her crying. I'd say it's my brain playing tricks on me, but if that was the case, why would it be crying? I sigh, and I'm making eye contact with Yuri. I know. Out of all the times I've known Monika, be it from around school or since my time at the club, I've never seen her get like this. I hear gentle footsteps making their way towards me. Yuri's footsteps. She looks right into my eyes, the mind hidden beyond those deep lavender eyes presumably working like clockwork as she tries to find the words to say.
I do have to ask though, Zero. What made you want to join this club?
The emphasis on the word you makes a personal question all the more personal. I think for a bit. To be completely honest, I hadn't really decided why I joined the club beyond the atmosphere being quite relaxed. But the more I think about it, the more I realize that might just be a perfectly justifiable reason for wanting to join. A nice, quiet environment to cool off, relax, and maybe do a bit of reading. I'm certain most people would want that. With a sigh, I relay my thoughts back to Yuri, who simply listens attentively. She's got a natural talent for that, I swear.
I think I feel the same way.
She smells a thoughtful spark in her eyes. A spark I don't usually see unless she's reading. Wait, what? He didn't say anything. Oh, I relay my thoughts back to Yuri. Oh, okay, he said that. Okay, that was weird. Spark that I don't usually see unless she's reading. I get why Natsuki's hesitant about new members, though. Like, who knows what getting new members would do for the atmosphere of the club? Yuri ponders this for a moment.
Like a quality over quantity sort of thing?
Yeah, sorta. Well, I've been part of the club for a few days, and I can tell everyone brings something special to it. I'm not opposed to getting anyone new, it's just...
Complicated?
I nod as Yuri completes my sentence. She sighs and relaxes her arms.
I think I understand. I usually prefer more relaxed environments that I can share with a friend or two. It might become a bit harder to manage with more members. Not to mention more people tends to lead to more conflict, which I'm not too keen on happening.
You and I both. Yuri's eyes then focusing on me, piercing through my retinas. She's blushing faintly.
Besides, I really enjoy how the club is now.
Another brief moment of silence follows. However, this time there's this weird tinge of awkwardness to it all. Whether it's because of how Yuri phrased that or something else, I've got no idea. There's just something about the way Yuri looks at me. Something I can't fully explain. The silence is then broken by the sound of a chair moving against the wood floor.
Zero? Yuri?
Mine and Yuri's sharp gaze focuses on Monika, who wipes her eyes before continuing.
I know I'm asking a lot with the festival. And if you're not up for it, I understand. But regardless, I'm really glad to call you my friends.
She caps it off with a traditional Monika smile. Almost simply because there is this unshakable, somber aura to it. Yuri and I look at each other as if we're telepathically deliberating.
Monika, I know we're both a bit unsure about new members. But if it means anything, I'm fully okay with helping with the festival.
Same here. The smile on Monika's face tells me all I need to know.
Thank you both. I'm gonna finish things up a little earlier today. We'll start out the festival tomorrow.
And with that, Monika goes back to the front desk while Yuri and I start to pack up. After Yuri leaves for the day, I linger around in the club a bit. There would be silent if not for the clock and the audible sound of Monika writing. I think for a bit about whether I should ask Monika if she wants to walk back home together. Can't explain why, but Monika's initial reaction to Natsuki's words reminded me of the day Sayori told me about her depression. Just this expression of hopelessness. I walk up to the desk she's at and kneel down to her level. Hey, Monika?
Yeah?
She looks up to meet my gaze. Her eyes seem slightly bloodshot, but the tears seem to have stopped now. I was just wondering... Come on, Zero, keep it together. Would you like to walk home together? Monika smiles weakly.
I'd love to. But...
Voice trails off as her gaze fixates on a small stack of papers beside her. School stuff? She nods, seeming quite down. I think a bit more. Tomorrow, maybe? She looks back at me, her smile returning once more.
If I'm free, then absolutely.
I smile back. That definitely seemed to cheer up a little. Well, that says defiantly, but I think they meant definitely. I start to move towards the door, and once Monika and I bid goodbye to each other, I'm off back home. Okay, a few thoughts about that scene. So, Natsuki not wanting new members, makes sense, you know? Natsuki storming off. Monika crying felt a little bit of an exaggeration. Like, okay, let me explain. So, Monika crying, I think, would really work if, like, all of them didn't want new members, and they were all turning down the idea, you know? Like, if they were all like, I don't know, Monika, like, if they were all against the idea, then it would be like, ooh, yeah, maybe that would make her cry a little bit. But it was only Natsuki. And Monika knows that Natsuki's, like, you know, hot-tempered. So it feels a little weird that she would just, you know, cry. Like, I don't know. Like, that's a little, like, that's a little more, that's a little drama. That's a little bit, like, exaggerated drama. Like, I'm not saying Monika can't be sad. I think, like, she would, like, you know, she let out a sigh, like, you're right. Like, no, she's right. Like, let her go. And then, you know, she walks up to the front desk or something. That's fine. But maybe you can make it like she just looks solemn or something, and she just, like, continues working on some papers. Like, she tries to distract herself, like, while working or something like that. Like, I don't know. It felt a little weird for her to leave and then, like, to go up to the front desk and start crying, like, in her arms just because Natsuki didn't want new members. Like, that seems like a little bit, like, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, I think. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that makes Monika seem not as, well, put together. For somebody who's able to fake her confidence so well to people, it's like, that feels a little just out of character. You know, because it's like, in order for her to be able to fake her confidence so well, she has to be strong-willed to a degree. So, to really make her start crying just because one person didn't want to, even if it does hit close to home, it's still like, that is just Natsuki. Like, it's a little weird. Yeah, the crying and that she didn't move. Yeah, the not crying and then, like, you know, like, tremble, like, you know, like, crying into her arms. Like, that felt a little too much. I don't know. Like I said, it would have been way better if all of them weren't with the idea. But Natsuki even specified, saying specifically, I don't know about Yuri or Zero, but I personally don't want to do it, you know? Like, and yeah, sure, you could say, well, she saw Yuri's face. Yuri didn't really seem that into it. And it's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean no. It's just saying, it's just not being that into it. Like, if anything, I feel like Base Game kind of handled it better when they said that, and Monika was, like, a little upset, and she was like, no, she's right. Like, you know, I think it should have been like that, except, you know, instead of, you know, trying to convince Natsuki and Yuri to share, it would just be, you know, a solemn moment. It'd be more like the Act 2 moment, where Monika just says, like, you know, no, she's right, you know, and she just kind of, yeah, then Yuri, because they're even taking some lines from that, where Yuri was like, now you've done it, Natsuki, you know? Yeah, it was like, Monika sits down and stares at her desk. It's about word choice. Yeah, is there a problem? Yeah. Is all this shit. Okay, well then Yuri has her freak out. But again, it's like, I think the part from Act 2 that's fine is where it just says Monika stares and sits at her desk. You know, I think that part's fine. I feel like making her cry was just kind of over the top. Everything else about the scene was okay, though. Like, you know, MC explaining why he wanted to be in the club was fine to, like, Yuri. You know, them talking, I think's okay. And Monika saying that they appreciate them as friends. Natsuki walking out makes sense. It just felt like Monika... It felt like there was a little too much drama in the scene, where the scene didn't need more drama to it to be a serious scene. Like, it felt like it was being played up a little too much, I think is what it was. It's French vanilla again? It's been French vanilla, you fool. You thought the French vanilla was gone, but you're a fool. It never left. It was always there. It felt like I was watching a telenovela. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, it felt like a soap opera a little bit there. But yeah, overall, the scene was fine, though. Yeah, it did feel a little weird. Again, I'm not trying to say Monika's a girl who, like, can't cry or anything. Like, let me point this out. I'm not trying to say, like, Monika can't cry. My point is, it feels like there needs to be a little bit more to make someone like Monika cry. Is just my problem. Like, it feels like that was something way too small to make her cry and, like, in front of everybody, too. It would make sense if she, like, was on the rooftop and she cried. If nobody was there, then it would make sense. But the fact that she's just in the club room crying in front of, like, everybody else, that does not seem like something Monika would do. Monika would hide it better. Exactly. It's like, yeah, that's basically what it is. Monika can't cry over Natsuki saying, fuck no, I'm not doing that. Yeah, basically. Or just, and I understand what the concept was the fact that they were like, it hit close to home because she was like, we like, that's not what we want, you know? But it's still something where it's like, I don't know. It didn't really work, in my opinion. The rest of the scene, though, was fine, though. The walk back home was a quiet one, mostly dominated by my thoughts about the club meeting. Maybe if Sayori was there, things might have gone differently. Seems like she has a natural talent for easing people's stress. That being said, I can't help but feel bad for Monika. Again, I know Natsuki didn't mean what she said, but regardless of that, it definitely hurt her. Maybe I should have stayed. I think out loud to myself as I unlocked my door. Once inside, I rest my bag against the wall and head to kitchen. Okay, we're heading to kitchen. I'm a little hungry, so I quickly make myself a chicken sandwich and grab a loose can of Pepsi, we're sponsored I guess, to help wash it down. Whilst eating, I contemplate whether to text Sayori about the incident I contemplate whether to text Sayori about the incident at the club. That's why it was weird. I know Monika more than likely will fill her in since she's her vice president and all, after all. Fuck it, I'll text her. I'll whip my phone out and get texting. Hey Sayo, Monika tell you about what happened today? Isn't long till my phone pings in response.
Yeah, she told me. Also, Natsuki apologized.
That helps ease my mind a bit. I text her again. That's a relief. Sarah and I ended up texting for much longer than I thought we would have. All the while, my mind goes back to Monika. Can't explain why, but I'm wondering how she's doing. I contemplate asking Sayori if she has her number, but that'd be a bit weird to ask, right? I mean, yeah, Sayori knows and seems very hopeful that something may happen, but it's a whole other can of worms asking for her number. Part of me kind of likes to humor the thought, though. It's a whole can of worms asking for a number. You know, which is besides, you know, holding her hand and standing there. That's not a push, you know? Holding her hand is definitely fine. Also, I'm not entirely sure. So I just want to point out, so like, because I'm not remembering correctly. DDLC Plus never points out why Natsuki wants to join the club, right? Like, she just says she wants to have like a manga, right? Like, isn't it like I don't think Plus ever says like she just wants to be there for friends, right? Like, that's never said, I'm pretty sure, as far as I'm aware. Like, I'm pretty sure it's never said why Natsuki joins the club. Yeah, okay. So it's fine to say, you know, that she just wants a place to sit there. Yeah, because I don't think that's actually never said in DDLC Plus. I think... Yeah, she says she joined the club for a safe place to not be judged. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. It was an entirely different thing. Where it was a place to not be judged. So it was nothing where it was like, didn't want more members. Alright, I was just making sure that this was not contradicting the side stories. Just making sure. Because that was something that's been like in my head and I was not sure. Because I was like, I think it's fine. And I was like, is it? I was like, I think it is. Holding her hand is like a 3 to 4, but getting her number is an A tier 5, is a tier 15. I was about to say, it's like you already were holding her hand and looking into each other's eyes. I feel like you're already past the having number thing, honestly. Alright, so, okay, we're switching to Monika's perspective. Monika's bedroom around 3 hours later. At least I hope we're switching to Monika's perspective and that we're not actually MC in Monika's room.
Why do I still feel bad about lying to him? It's not even that I had that much to do, so it wouldn't have hurt that much to walk with him. At least I've got something to look forward to tomorrow. I toss and turn on my sheets, unable to shake off these feelings. I've suppressed them for so long that I thought they weren't there anymore. Why am I trying to hide it? I sigh, curling up and grabbing one of my pillows and cling to it. As my breathing steadies, he pops into my head once again, causing my grip on the pillow to tighten. Even when he's not here, he manages to comfort me. Maybe that schoolgirl crush of mine never truly died.
Okay, so now we've got the, I mean, even though I didn't need a confirmation. Whoa! That wasn't a big confirmation. We knew this. What? Mod, are you telling me that she likes him too? I am shocked. Flabbergasted. Whoa! I am taken aback. What a twist! Oliver Twist! Was that seriously just for that? Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, was that scene really just for that? Was it just... Was it really just to confirm? Whoa! Monika actually likes him back? What a twist! Like, alright, let me explain what I'm talking about, though. So, I'm not saying this mod had to keep it a secret that Monika liked him. Like, obviously. Like, there's plenty of mods where it's not exactly, like, a secret that they like them back, you know? And usually it's treated as the MC will usually be the one who's surprised by it. Like, I think that's something we did in Vigilante. And, like, obviously, in Vigilante, you could tell, obviously, Monika liked him back. But that's why we didn't try to make... That's why we didn't try to keep the reveal a secret. It was only that MC was surprised by being like, what? She said yes. You know, it's like we used MC as his reaction. We never tried to keep it as this big reveal. So it's like, I don't know why this mod is trying to make it like this reveal of, whoa! Like, she actually liked him back as a kid too. Like, I don't know, it just feels weird. It feels unnecessary. It's not really like a twist that makes sense. When it makes it, like, it's not a twist. Well, that's 2 minutes of my life I'm never getting back. Like, yeah, it was very unnecessary to even switch to her perspective for that. Like, you're better off just letting MC figure it out on his own, because obviously us as the reader, we already know. And that's the thing. And like I said, it's not even like it's exclusive to this. It's in every romantic story. Every fucking romance movie or anything you read or see, you know that the other character likes the main character back. You obviously know that, just the main character doesn't know. So it should just be a surprise to him. It should never be like, you should never try to surprise the reader, because obviously the reader knows. They're with each other on the front of the book, see? Like, obviously she likes him back. What happens if they don't? Then that's when you can do the twist. That's the twist, and when they don't like him back. I was like, yeah, it's like having that scene just felt unnecessary. Also, I don't know. So here's the thing. This mod is going with also the sense of they already liked each other before the mod started. This mod is using this type of thing of, because they had a crush on each other before the story even began. So because of that, I think that's why everything feels so rushed. Because they already have, like, they already liked each other beforehand, but we never got to see it. And I feel like with a mod like this, it only really works against it. Because of that, it's like I said, it kind of feels like they're rushing in their relationship. Like, it just feels like everything is, they already like each other. So it's like, oh, what the hell? So like, I was saying, it's like they already like each other, so it just feels like everything's just going so fast because of that. I feel like this mod would have been way better if they didn't have that thing. If it was just oh, I knew Monika back in the day, you know, but didn't really know her that well, then that could have worked better, in my opinion. Or maybe if it was a one-sided crush, maybe if Monika didn't have a crush back on him, it could have worked better. Like, you could still have him have a crush on Monika in the past, but it's weird that they both had crushes, and now we're just continuing it. It just feels like the development just feels so fast because of that. Like, it's fine to make us sit here and have a when will they finally get together? That's fine, but it's like, to have it already at the beginning was like the fact that I'm like, come on now. It just makes it odd. Like I said, I feel like with a story like this, you just, I don't know. Like, because the entire focus of the story is them getting together. So, it's like half of that's already skipped. like you already skipped some of that. Alright, cool. But why is the mod called Within? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like they shouldn't have made it that they liked each other and like they had crushes on each other in the past. Yeah, someone mentioned they could have had a flashback. That could have worked maybe too, potentially. I feel like they should have just made them warm up to each other and eventually they both liked each other. Or even Monika eventually warmed up to liking MC. Like, it feels weird that they already liked each other before the mod started. The dreaded sound of my alarm wakes me up. Wasn't for the fact that it was my phone, I would have thrown it against the wall years ago. Long, tired sigh. I force myself up and stretch before getting into my morning routine. Yeah, you forgot the mod was in dev mode? Yeah.